The Anthony Shadid Award for Excellence in Journalism was named for two-time Pulitzer Prize-winning reporter who put humanity at the heart and the center of every story that he filed. Tonight, it is my honor to present this award to someone who, like Anthony, crafts stories not through the eyes of the powerful, but from the ground up. In her 3 decades at the BBC as a foreign correspondent, Lyse Doucet attributes her amazing body of work to the ultimate kindness of strangers. Strangers who open up their hearts and their homes when they have lost everything. Even in their hour of grief, they offer up what may be their last meal. It's this perspective that shapes her amazing storytelling, whether from Syria, Palestine, Yemen, Tunisia, or Egypt. Her remarkable series on the children of Syria and Gaza showed how children are not just caught in the crossfire, but are actually at the center of these conflicts. Lyse's subjects are never objectified or otherized. She provides a lens so that we may see for ourselves the reality of those living through tragedy and the future that these conflicts are creating. In experiencing their humanity, she gives us a glimpse into her own. She does all of this while braving the ever-growing threats facing journalists today, the kidnappings, arrests, murders, and falling afoul of those who wield power. In my job, the thing I dread the most is that call. The call that a journalist has been taken or detained or killed. But I give thanks every day for journalists like Lyse Doucet, that they exist to tell the truth, to share the kindness of others, and to let humanity speak when it otherwise would be silenced. Gibran said, "Do you hear these cries and lamentations? Do you hear these moans and sighs? Or are you like the proud and mighty who do not see the outstretched hand and hear the cries of the poor?" For all of us here tonight, it is my honor to present the 2019 award, Anthony Shadid Award for Excellence in Journalism, to Lyse Doucet. To go here for a photo.
مساء الخير. Okay, I know you're all looking at my photo and saying, that doesn't look like her. You know, this is what happens when you go to the Middle East, it just changes everything. I want to begin by thanking Courtney and Vivian, and I especially want to thank Courtney for all that she does with her essential and awesome advocacy for press freedom and for so many of the freedoms that now matter so much. I also want to thank my dear friend Jim Zogby, such a kind and gentle soul, but so full of fire for the issues which matter. And of course, being kind and wise, it means he's got a team of women who run everything for him. And so Maya and Jennifer and all of the wonderful people who brought us here together. And look at all of you, your distinguished community. And it's such an honor to stand here among you tonight and feeling that I somewhat didn't earn this right to be here with you this evening. But you know, I'm Canadian. And you know what they say? Half of Canada is Lebanese. And the other half wants to be Lebanese. But tonight, ladies and gentlemen, dear good and great people, we come together to honor 2 Lebanese Americans, 2 Arab Americans, two writers, two philosophers, two men who inspired us, moved us, educated us, and who left us far, far too soon. I keep a copy of Khalil Gibran's book, The Prophet, in a special place in my home. I keep a memory of Anthony Shadid in a special place in my heart. I keep his stories in my files. I keep his words in my head. And 7 years on, we still keep talking about Anthony, still keep asking what he would write. And we miss him. And Rhonda, Shadid, you brought a special person into this world. But as his mother, you don't need to be told that. Nada, your love was boundless, and your partnership profound. And Malik, 9 years old, with us tonight, going on 19, so much of Anthony lives in you. And he just told me he wants to be a writer. And he will be, because he has the gift. Sometimes in life, you meet people and you never forget that moment. And I remember in Jerusalem in 1995 when Anthony walked into our BBC office, and I was immediately taken by his big smile, that hint of mischief, that fizzing with energy. And he had come to visit my BBC colleague Nadia Rahman, and they were at university together at Madison. And Nadia recalls that Anthony was the only student who had a photocopier in his room. Most of the students didn't even know what a photocopier was. Anthony photocopied every letter he wrote. And every letter he wrote was like an entry into a diary of a man who knew even then he had a destiny and that he would go far. And in the distance he traveled, he also went to a moral high ground. Anthony never treated the people he met as subjects or just a story. He showed courage, compassion, kindness to his colleagues and competitors alike. He celebrated what was good, he condemned what was bad, and he wrote with hope, imagining a better future for the Middle East, for the United States, for all the countries beyond. One editor described his writing as magical. One of his stories stays with me. It was written in May 2010 about a house in Baghdad on Princess Street between the mulberry trees and the date palms. It was the home of the renowned Arab poet, writer, translator, Jabra Ibrahim Jabra. It was a home of paintings, of poetry, of music, of plays. It was a meeting place for cultures. And when a car bomb destroyed Jabra's house, when this magnificent place, this idea was destroyed, it became a number. Report 25. And Anthony reminded us in this article that the greatest tragedy is not that it was destroyed, but that it was made to be forgotten. And perhaps that is one of the many reasons why we gather here tonight, why you gather here year after year, to assert that even when something is destroyed, and it keeps being destroyed, we must do everything we can to keep it alive so that it is not forgotten. I learned that from my Iraqi friend Aysara Krawi, who is with us here tonight. I learned it from a friend of many of us, Lamia al-Gilani, the Iraqi archaeologist, who also left us too soon. And I learned that from Anthony, that there are places and people and ideas that are so precious we must hold on to them and not forget them. As Anthony's close friend, Thanasis Cambyses, wrote of his passing, there's no one who can do what Anthony did. But Thanasis wrote that many will continue to try. And perhaps that is one of Anthony's last bequests. Because all of us here tonight must keep trying. Because when we do, someday we will succeed. Thank you.